Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here. Now today I'm going to be going over another kind of update, I guess, to a video I made a little while ago about the Ohio Lake Erie Birding Trail guidebook. They have since recently, in the past year or so, have released a second edition. It's much smaller, different front cover, and it does have some minor differences to the hot spots and kind of switches and changes them around, and some of the info of course is up to date now. So this is, if you want to watch that previous video, I talk all about the first edition one, which is this pretty massive tome. It's got a nice laminate cover, very large full color pages, some maps and some other diagrams here, and you know, overall it's a really nice guide. You know, of course this one's now, I guess, out of print, so you can't really get this one unless if maybe you buy it secondhand or used or whatever. But now I'm going to be talking about in this video and just going over briefly the up-to-date version of this, which is, as you can see, much smaller, and but still is jam-packed with all the different kinds of information that you may have when birding up by the Great Lakes and Lake Erie in particular. So let's go ahead and I'll put it on the table here, and we'll kind of look through it more closely here. All right, so as you can see from the previous guidebook, the cover is drastically different here. It has a much more softer kind of like matte finish to it. And whereas the first edition had featured a scarlet tanager, this one has a northern parula on the front cover here, a warbler. And on the back side here we have a purple sandpiper and some information about conservation and how to support Ohio wildlife and nature in the way of getting a wildlife legacy stamp, purchasing that yearly, or getting a specialty Ohio license plate. So as we open it here, also nice spiral bound once again, so it's easy to flip through the pages here, which is nice. And as we open it here, there is this checklist here, which features a map and a list of all the species and wildlife that you may encounter along the Lake Erie Birding Trail. As you can see, it's a nice big list here of all the different species you may encounter on the lake. And the bolded ones are breeding species, which is something to look out for depending on the time of year you go. And then here's the website where you can learn more about the trail itself, or you can even buy the guidebook. Obviously I have it here now, and there's a QR code to go to that website and to learn more and everything. So very nice, and it, you know, conveniently is in this little pocket here, so you can kind of like keep it with the guidebook for whenever you want to get that visual reference, of course, of the map here. And this is the same thing that was included in the first edition. Very nice to get a visual, of course, and it even breaks up the different like sections, I guess, of the entire birding trail. You can do these different loops, so you can really customize and plan accordingly how you want to, I guess you could say, tackle this birding trail, or however much of it you want to do, which is really nice. And so yeah, lots to it, which is nice. As we get here, we got some acknowledgments, a foreword from the chief of the Division of Wildlife, and then some more information about the birding trail itself and how it came to be. Some lake watching and some other resources, and ABA's birding code of ethics, and some kind of like economic facts about bird watching, especially at the Lake Erie. And then this is just some more like, I guess, like a key or a legend of the different amenities you may find at each park or preserve or wherever it may be, really. And then just really goes to the loop, and as you can see, they're all numbered, and that is corresponds obviously with this map on the inside of this little pamphlet or this brochure. And then got different numbered sites and everything, and it really just goes to the same information. There's maybe some little minor, I don't know, grammatical tweaks or different information that may be up to date now from the previous guidebook. The first edition wasn't super old. I think it was only maybe about a year or two old, and this one just came out in 2025. But you know, much of the same information. They even have one featured site in each loop and section of the birding trail itself, which is nice to really, I guess you could say, if you wanted to get to the, let's say, the highlights or the most productive place for birding, you could just go to the featured site, of course. But all of these locations are great in their own different ways. Some beautiful color photographs throughout, and some of the habitats you may see are present for each location. Even gives you some like contact info, like a website to refer to, and if you want to call ahead, you can do stuff like that too. And most of these places are public access. I think there's a few that are private, but still open to the public, if that makes sense, just from an ownership perspective. But you know, really gets you through to the entire lake here, which is really nice. As we go through the loops here, you know, sometimes we get a full page spread, of course, of different wildlife and birds you may encounter. And by and large, it's mostly the same. I looked through and compared the first to this new edition in terms of the hot spots. I think there's maybe about 2 or 3 ones that are changed. You know, they added some in here and removed some from the previous one. I'm not quite sure the reason, but maybe they're just better locations suited for this trail. But yeah, by and large, the same amount of information is present in both guides, but this one is obviously a lot more portable, which makes it nicer to just kind of stow in your car or your you know, hiking bag or camera bag in my case, or stuff like that, which is really nice. But yeah, just goes through all the loops here and all the trails. Obviously, this is a very brief overview. You know, a lot of this information is on the website, but it is very handy and useful, I think, to have all this information here in a kind of like printed copy, whereas you don't have to access, you know, your phone out in the field, depending on the cell reception or whatever it may be. And then back here is a checklist if you so choose to mark up the pages with all the birds you may encounter on the Lake Erie Birding Trail. Obviously, I use eBird like many people, but it's nice to have this in here if you just want to have a much more I guess like inclusive experience using this guidebook. You can even write down the dates you've seen them, and yeah, that's pretty much it with it really. And you can get from the Ohio Division of Wildlife some of these books, which are like basically field guides. I made a separate video about those a while back that I'll include or link to in this video as well. So just also some really nice resources that you may encounter. So this book is priced at about $15. You can go on their website, which I will include a link to in the description, and it's a very nice book. I'm really glad to have both editions here. I highly recommend it, and you may see in certain visitor centers and nature centers across the lake, they may actually have this guide for sale, but you can order online, of course, and it'll, you know, ship to your door. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video here. Like I said, yeah, if you want to purchase it, please do. I highly recommend it. It's a great resource, and I look forward to using it more and more as I visit Lake Erie for birding. So thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.